So after that segment, after that part of the video, I watched the whole interview, so y'all don't have to. He said that he is unapologetically Christian. Well, what's unapologetically Christian about bearing false witness against your neighbor and completely lying about what's happening in Minnesota and then advocating for the government to remove leaders that they don't like arbitrarily? That's fascism. So that's the kind of guy that this guy is. Then the host starts talking about Chad's ostensible Christianity, and the host calls the separation of church and state nonsense. This is what we're dealing with these Christian nationalists who twist not only the Bible, but the Constitution. And then this sheriff, this clown, this Republican, leading Republican candidate for governor in California, starts talking about how the economy is terrible in California. It's the fourth largest economy in the fucking world as of 2025. So he's lying there again. He said that the founders wanted freedom of any religion, and then in the very next breath, he says, actually, all of the founding documents say that our government was only formed for a Christian nation, which is batshit crazy and a lie. There are no founding documents from actual founding fathers that say ours is a Christian nation. I literally just wrote a whole 33-page chapter on the kinds of lies that Christian nationalists tell, and I used primary source documents because that's what historians do. We don't just rely on our fucking opinions to show that this is not the case. In fact, the person who wrote the First Amendment also wrote the memorial and remonstrance against religious test, saying words to the effect of anybody who could make Christianity the religion of the state could make a particular sect of Christianity the religion of the state. And so therefore we don't want this. And that's why we're going to have religious freedom. He then claims that communism is why church was taken out of schools and the government. No, it was because of the First Amendment. And if you remember back to the 1700s, when the Constitution was written, they were not communist. Most of them were elitist. Most of them were rich. They were not communist. Communism wasn't even a fucking thing yet. He doesn't understand the difference between democratic socialism and communism, and therefore he's too stupid to be leading the government of the fourth largest economy on the planet. We know he's an authoritarian. We know that people that he incarcerated died in horrific numbers. He calls what ICE is doing good, despite the fact that they're murdering people. They shot people again last night in Minnesota. Somebody else was shot again. They threw flashbang grenades into and under a car with a 6-month-old baby in it, sending that child to the hospital. There's nothing good about this. And if you say that you are unapologetically Christian and that we need to be bringing those kind of values into your government, where is the value of the golden rule, which Jesus said to do in everything you do? Where is the value of love as I have loved, John 13:34? Where is the value of love your neighbor as myself? Who's my neighbor? The one that you are marginalizing right now. That's the example Jesus used. So for all of these reasons, Chad Bianco is this week's representative of fundamentalist fuckwittery. And if you live in California or know somebody who lives in California, please tell them that he's a Christian nationalist, because I went to his campaign website and there is nothing about faith on that website. He said that he is unapologetically Christian. Well, what's unapologetically Christian about bearing false witness against your neighbor and completely lying about what's happening in Minnesota, and then advocating for the government to remove leaders that they don't like arbitrarily. That's fascism. So that's the kind of guy that this guy is.